All right, today's training we're going to be talking a little bit about the electric transfer valve, the total pressure governor, two different operating systems. The electric transfer valve is either going to be in pressure or volume mode. If you're in pressure, if you're flown enough hand lines to exceed 1,000 GPMs, you need to be in volume. Anytime you're operating master streams, in a relay like we have set up today using master streams, both pumpers need to be in volume. Valve, pressure or volume. This is just going to be a little refresher for you. When you're in pressure mode, the water comes into your impeller, it spins, and it's going to discharge into this impeller and then discharge out into your system. When you are in the volume mode, water will come in both sides of your impellers, gain its speed, and then discharge into your discharge piping. So if we are in pressure, it's also known as series because you're going from one to the other. That's a series. If you're in volume, it's called parallel because you're using both at the same time. Okay, next we're going to talk about the total pressure governor. This is your mode button that will pick either PSI or your RPM mode. The first in engine will always need to be in the PSI mode. The engine working at the supply at the hydrant needs to be in RPM mode. Okay, so to switch between PSI and RPM mode, it's the green button that says mode. Right now, because the engine's not on, it's just going to give me my RPM. This is your idle button. Anytime you're at a pumping at any pressure, if you want to go to your idle, just hit idle and everything will decrease the idle speed. The preset button is automatically set to somewhere in between 130, 125, 130 pounds. As soon as you push that preset button, it's automatically going to jump your discharge pressure up to about 130 psi. You increase or decrease your pressure with the increase or decrease buttons. This TPG has several built-in safety features. One of them is the RPM. If you get a significant RPM increase without a significant or a rise in your discharge pressure, this is going to give you some sort of a warning. Your bottom lights will start flashing and you'll get a warning up here. It says water supply or RPMs, and it's just telling you that it needs to be adjusted. It's asking for your help. If you don't help it after so many seconds, I'm not sure, it'll go back to its last stable pressure that it was at. Pump mode, we're going to show you some of the lights that we get. So one push, you're going to be in your PSI mode. Second push, you're in your RPM mode. Because I'm at the attack pumper, I'm going to be in PSI mode right now. I'm going to hit my preset button. It's set at 130 PSI, you may have saw that. I'm getting an increase in my RPMs. It's automatically trying to maintain 130 pounds for me right now. You can see it says water supply. That is because my water supply has dropped and it's flashing because it wants me to do something. It's asking me to help it out a little bit. So I'm going to try to increase my pressure. I still have plenty of water. I've checked my line. Even though it may say close to zero here, I know I still have plenty of water. So I'm going to continue to try to increase to get my 130. Close that down a little bit so I want it to get the fight. So I'll do that. Okay, so we're trying to get this now. It's asking for me to do something. It's saying help me. I can't maintain my pressure. So I got to try to throttle it up to get my 130 again. Or actually I'm trying to maintain 100 right now. I'm going to try to fight it. If the RPMs can't keep up, the safety feature is it's going to go back to the last known stable pressure that it had. said water supply, and my engine just came back down to the last known stable pressure that it had. Okay, I'm back at my 130 now, my preset. I'm going to open a discharge, and you can watch the RPMs and my intake and the discharge pressure. My RPMs are increasing, trying to maintain my 130. Gets there, everything's fine. Okay, my pump is starting to cavitate. You can tell by the discharge pressure gauge. When it starts doing that, your pump is cavitating. I got my water supply again, and it's flashing because it's telling me it needed help. So it went back to its last known stable output pressure. Fix that. So to fix that, you either need to increase your water supply or close down some of your discharges.
Just as a bit of a refresher to you guys, if you are ordered to go to work at a plug to provide master stream water to the attack engines or trucks, and you come to a hydrant that has not previously been occupied, never at that point use the humid. The humid does have a bit of water loss in it. So if you come to an unoccupied hydrant, do not hook your 5-inch up to the humid and then hook the humid to the hydrant. Strictly hook your 5-inch directly to the hydrant. What we have here in this particular setup is a situation where an earlier arriving engine had straight laid to the fire, and you as the second engine are asked to go back to work at the plug. In other words, the humid is already on it. That's when you would directly hook to the humid.
Okay, so now I've got my 150-pound discharge. My RPMs are about 1280. I'm going to have the other supply or the attack pumper shut down their lines, and I want you to see what's going to happen here at this panel. Go ahead and shut down the ground pumper. Okay, so they're going to be shutting down one of their lines. What you're going to see is that my RPMs are going to stay the same, but my discharge pressure is going to go up. So my RPMs went up about 20 psi. No big deal, but I had an increase here, so now I got to watch that and make sure I come back down. And now it's going to maintain for me 12 or 1085, somewhere around in there. That's my new discharge pressure. Okay, Phil. Okay, I'm going to simulate what may or may not have happened at one of the fire scenes earlier this month, where both pumpers were in PSI mode. If I am the supply pumper at the hydrant and I'm not in RPM and I'm in pressure, and the tack pumper is in pressure, and let's say that I want to get to my, I'm putting out 130. Okay, so I got my light PSI, and if I shut down a line, you can see that this is, it dropped my RPMs in order to try to maintain the 130 that I was at. So by doing that, you can see I'm getting a flashing light now. It's asking me to do something with it. Okay, once I hit the increase, that's going to stop flashing that light. But I guarantee that attack pumper, at the same time that these RPMs adjusted, that pumper was adjusting as well. So what you have is both pumpers trying to fight each other to try to maintain their pressure. That is why this pumper has to be in the RPM mode, because it doesn't really matter what the pressure you're putting out here. As long as you're getting water to that other pumper, TPG will adjust to maintain the pressure that you need. Did that sound okay, Jay?